Hello, and welcome to the 2019 Summer B section of Philosophy 9 Symbolic Logic. My name is Mia Wood. I am a philosophy professor at Pierce College, and I'll be your instructor. Now, what you're going to see in this video is basically a welcome to the course. I'm going to walk you through Canvas, how I've got Canvas laid out. So you're going to see what we're doing, when we're doing it, and how we're doing it, and a little bit also of why we're doing it. I want to remind you before we embark on this tour that we are compressing 15 weeks into 5. So please be sure to stay on top of your time management skills. Make sure that you connect with me whenever you have questions, problems, and confusions. I will not only be available via Canvas email, but I will also host virtual office hours. And if you can't make my office hours, you and I can connect at another time that works for both of us. So let's go ahead and get started taking a tour of our Philosophy 9 Canvas course. Okay, so as you can see, I have logged in to Canvas and I've landed on the dashboard that contains links to the courses that I'm involved in this summer. So for us, the Phil 9 link is what we want to focus on. And then we land on our home page. And let me just show you what it is that you'll see when you log in. The Start Here link is important. I'll come back to that in a moment. Then as you scroll down, we've got access to our textbook and a link to our purchasing options for the software, or actually I should say purchasing option. And then a series of links to video tutorials, links to various handouts and retests. We'll talk about that in a moment. And then finally, as you keep scrolling down, you'll see week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, and week 5. So let me start with our schedule. We've got 5 weeks to work together, which, as you know, is not a long time. So let's make sure that we're on top of our work. If you click on any given week's link, you're taken to a page that is laid out just like the other pages. So we've got a series of topics, our readings, and then a series of videos to watch. Yeah, I know the list of videos is really, really long for week 1. I'll come back to that in a moment. And then a list of items to complete. And if you click on the next button, you'll notice for the second week, the layout again, it's the same. Topics, readings, stuff to watch, stuff to complete. Okay, so the layout I hope is pretty easy to grasp. I want to come back up to Start Here. It's really important that you take a look at the overview of the digital tools video, how we're using Canvas, and then of lesser importance, at least starting out, would be the course content and logistics. I mean, you can figure that stuff out by way of the syllabus. I find, for example, that sometimes watching videos is a bit of a drag. I'd rather just see text so that I can, take a very quick scroll through the text and find what it is that I want to read. In any event, you definitely want to start here. Now I'm going to back out to our home page. The textbook you can download. It's not something that technically you're purchasing. What you are going to purchase ultimately is access to the grading program, and I'll tell you more about that in another video that's in the Start Here list of videos. But you can start with looking at the textbook even before you buy anything. If we move on to the next page, you'll notice that we've got the program basics So, for example, the first one in the list is Tarski's World. That's one of the programs that we're going to use. And the link is to my YouTube channel. So let me just close that window, go back to the home page. So notice when you went page by page, which I just did, we got to Tarski's World, then there's Fitch, Boole, and so forth. Again, tutorials on what these programs are and what they will do for us are separate from this video. Handouts are, I hope, pretty straightforward for you. You're going to really want to practice as much as possible. There are practice exams and keys. So practice exams and keys for each one of our actual exams. We also have additional practice, and then you'll notice that there are some retests. I realize as I'm looking at this that I have not posted the exam 4 pre-test. There are 4 exams in all. There's a pre-test because, you know, once the course ends, you can't retest anything, and exam 4 is the last exam. So rather than a retest, there's a pre-test option. But there are retest options for each of the first 3 exams. Unless you are very happy with the score that you have on a given exam, I would retest. If nothing else, it's great practice. Okay, so now let me go back to the stuff to read, watch, and do. You'll notice that I offer you a lot of videos, and I know that your time is valuable, so I don't expect that you're going to, you know, studiously slog through every single video. I think what you'll grasp very quickly is that the overview videos or the chapter basics videos, those you definitely want to work through. You may also want to look at some of the videos that were recorded in class for the face-to-face group, so that you have a sense of what the discussions are like there. But the reason why there are so many videos is not just because I'm throwing a ton at you, but because we've only got 5 weeks. So that means that we're concentrating 15 weeks into 5, which means there's a lot to get through. So week 1 involves chapters 1 and 2. In my view, once you get the basics of chapter 1 down, the real meat of your work should be in chapter 2. And then notice also that there are discussions and videos to complete every week. In fact, it should be the case that there are 2 discussions, even though I notice here that there's only 1 listed. I believe it's the case that oh no, maybe I'm wrong. No, I think there's just 1 discussion a week. But there are 2 quizzes each week. The first quiz is due on a Thursday, the second quiz is due on a Sunday, so make sure that you pay attention to those deadlines. The reading quizzes are meant to facilitate your content knowledge. The practice and the exams are going to focus on skills. In addition, the discussions are meant to help you work through your conceptual understanding and how you would approach a certain skill that we're working on. But the reading quizzes they're multiple choice, true, false, and they simply focus on content knowledge. But they give you an idea of what is important for you to focus on in a given week. So my advice is that you should encourage the assessments in the order that they're presented. That said, you can look through what's involved in a given assignment and then decide whether or not you want to complete it at the time. But do remember that once you open or start an assessment, specifically a reading quiz, that will start the timer and then you'll want to complete the thing. So I'm going to move on to week number 2. Again, you'll notice that we're working on a couple of chapters each week. So here again, you've got 2 quizzes, you've got a discussion, and then you've got your first exam. So, I can't stress enough that practice is essential. Take advantage of the practice exams, take advantage of the additional practice, complete as many homework exercises as possible. And by that I mean those exercises that are in the textbook. They're keyed to certain software that we're using. Not only because of the practice, but also because some of those exercises will appear on a given exam. So that's basically how stuff is laid out. I think I mentioned to you that I will be available for office hours on probably on Sundays, but I want to get a sense from you about what your preferences or needs are so that I could try to create hours that will work for you. But of course, I will be available outside of office hours. So, this is a pretty intensively developing or skill development course. So please take advantage of tutoring, which will be made available through Canvas by way of our Center for Academic Success. We have wonderful tutors. We'll have an embedded tutor for this semester. And then also take advantage of using me for help. You can work through questions, problems, confusions, you can get tutorials, all the rest of it. And then, of course, look at videos that are meant to try to preempt some of the confusion that tends to arise in this particular course. So that's the overview of the course. Welcome to Philosophy 9. And please, please, please let me know anytime you have questions, problems, and confusions.